Before she became the Black Dahlia, Elizabeth Short was simply Beth, a young woman from Massachusetts with dark hair, blue eyes, and big dreams. In this episode, we'll uncover who Elizabeth was before the headlines, the girl behind the legend, and trace her journey from small-town Medford to the glittering, dangerous streets of Los Angeles. I'm Esther, host of Once Upon a Crime. This is Broken, the Black Dahlia Murder, Part 2, Discovering Elizabeth. Elizabeth Short was born on July 29, 1924, in Hyde Park, Massachusetts, the third of 5 daughters born to Cleo and Phoebe Short. Cleo was a dreamer, a mechanic turned entrepreneur, who built miniature golf courses during the 1920s boom. Phoebe kept the books and raised the girls in Medford near Boston. For a while, life was good. The Shorts had a nice house, piano lessons, Sunday dresses, a picture of middle-class success. Then, in 1929, the stock market crashed. Their business collapsed, and the following year, Cleo Short vanished, leaving his car near a bridge and his family to believe he'd taken his own life. Phoebe was left to raise 5 daughters alone during the Great Depression. She worked as a bookkeeper, received government aid, and maintained appearances. Her daughter Elizabeth, Betty, escaped hardship through movies and music. She adored the glamorous stars of Hollywood and dreamed of one day joining them. As a child, Betty suffered from asthma and lung problems. She spent long stretches away from school and eventually underwent surgery. To recover, she was sent to live with her grandmother in Maine, her first taste of independence. By her teens, Betty had grown into a stunning young woman, with dark curls, porcelain skin, and a quiet confidence that turned heads. At 16, her mother sent Betty to Miami Beach during the winter to help her recover her health. She got a job at a beach resort and quickly fell in love with Florida's sunshine, soldiers, and excitement. Each winter she returned, and each time she came back to Medford, she seemed more sophisticated. She wore stylish clothes, carefully applied makeup, and carried herself like someone destined for something bigger. In 1941, the U.S. entered World War II. Betty's sister Dottie joined the Navy waves, and the family also got caught up in the surge of patriotic energy sweeping the country. Betty, always restless, worked in Boston, met soldiers, and dreamed of adventure. She wanted romance, travel, and freedom. She was flirty, but by all accounts, still innocent. A good girl, as people said then. Yet she was fearless, walking the streets alone, striking up conversations, and moving through life with optimism and charm. In 1942, after over a decade had passed since her husband disappeared, Phoebe Short received a letter. Cleo was alive and living in California. For Betty, it was more than a shock. It was an opportunity. California meant a new beginning, and Hollywood. At 18, she boarded a Greyhound bus west to reunite with her father. At first, the reunion seemed hopeful. Betty moved in with her father and found work near Vallejo. But tensions quickly grew. Cleo disapproved of his daughter's late nights, her boyfriends, and her Hollywood dreams. One day he told her to leave, saying, "You go your way, and I'll go mine." Betty's father had now abandoned her twice. Needing work and a place to stay, she took a job at Camp Cook near Santa Barbara, today known as Vandenberg Air Force Base. She was hired as a cashier at the base exchange, where her charm made her instantly popular. The soldiers adored her. She was named Camp Cutie of Camp Cook. But Beth kept her distance. She flirted, danced, and laughed, yet refused to go further. Her supervisor later described her as innocent and polite, a model employee. However, the base was overcrowded, and her promised housing never materialized. When a friendly sergeant offered her a place to stay, she naively accepted. When she rejected his advances, he struck her, giving her a black eye. Beth left the base soon after, continuing to drift, staying with friends, moving between jobs, and living on her charm and optimism. In September 1943, Beth was arrested in Santa Barbara for underage drinking. She was only 19. The policewoman who booked her described her as polite, frightened, and remorseful, a young woman who seemed far too gentle for the trouble she was in. Rather than send her to juvenile detention, the officer took her home, let her stay the night, and even gave her money for the trip back east. Her father refused to help, so Beth was sent home to Medford once again. The officer remembered one unusual detail, a small rose tattoo on Beth's left thigh. It wasn't common for young women to sport tattoos in 1943. But Beth was unlike other girls. Her tattoo may have been, for her, a symbol of beauty, rebellion, and freedom. After less than a year in California, Beth returned home, still dreaming of the life she believed was waiting for her somewhere else. Back home, Beth continued her seasonal life, spending winters in Florida and summers in Massachusetts. In Miami, she found work behind a cosmetics counter, where her beauty and confidence caught everyone's attention. In 1944, she met Lieutenant Joseph Gordon Fickling, a handsome pilot in the Army Air Corps. They fell in love, but war soon separated them. Their letters were tender, his filled with devotion, hers with warmth and a hint of restlessness. When she stopped writing, it broke his heart. A year later, she met Major Matthew Matt Gordon, a decorated Flying Tiger pilot and war hero. They had just one date before he shipped out, but they began a passionate correspondence. Matt told his mother he'd proposed to Beth and planned to marry her when he returned. Beth was overjoyed, writing, "Darling, I am just so much in love that I can't see beyond my nose." But in August 1945, just before the war's end, Matt's plane crashed. He never came home. Beth was devastated. Her mother said Matt Gordon had been her daughter's one true love. After Matt's death, Beth reached out again to Lieutenant Fickling. She told him she had missed him and called him my beau from the year before. He wrote back, "I have always remembered you. I can't deny that." By the spring of 1946, he was stationed in California and invited her to join him. He ended his letter with a question, "Will you love me?" For Beth, the answer was already yes. To him, to love, to the dream of California itself. She believed she could still find happiness even after heartbreak, and that belief would soon carry her back to Los Angeles for the final time. Elizabeth Short's life was a patchwork of dreams and detours, a young woman chasing love and adventure in a world that wasn't built to protect her. In Los Angeles, she would once again reinvent herself, poised, elegant, and mysterious, and step unknowingly towards the fate that would make her immortal. In the next episode of Broken, the Black Dahlia Murder, we'll follow Beth to Los Angeles and trace her final days, the people she met, the secrets she kept, and the tragedy that made her a legend. Subscribe to the channel to hear the real story of the Black Dahlia. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode. For more true crime stories from history, check out the rest of our playlist on YouTube, or take them on the go by subscribing to Once Upon a Crime podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.